I would post about having long hair and how much I loved it. And then I was 17 years old. It's the summer of 2022. I have a great haircut. It was the most attractive I ever felt. I was starting to get attention from girls. It was really a big confidence booster. I feel great. And then I'm in Amsterdam and I'm loving the way my hair looks. I'm messing around with like bandanas or whatever. I'm trying to look my best. I think I'm the shit. You know, my ego's getting boosted. And then we're in Amsterdam and I'm with my 10-year-old cousin. We're playing around, you know, we're having fun. We're having a good time. We're just
Yeah.
fooling around. He's like, dude, you're balding. I'm like, haha, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, dude, literally look at your scalp. And I'm like, I didn't know what to look for. You know, this was something that just this summer, I was so proud of the way my hair looked. And I felt so confident about my hair. And then I see it. I see what he's talking about. We take a picture of my scalp and I see the see-through that you could see my scalp. And I guess at that point, you know, I was freaking out, but I felt like I was more freaking out in a way to kind of be funny because, you know, I didn't nearly suspect the how quickly my hair would go. My dad has lost a lot of hair, but he's in his 50s. My mom's brother, completely gone on the top. My grandfather, my mom's side, all bald. I guess I understood in a way that this would be something I dealt with. But from the moment I caught it, it just felt like it just went so fast. I go into senior year of high school. I'm not letting it bother me too much. You know, I'm really annoyed. We're going to look for solutions. That's what my mom and I say because she's a fashion style expert. So this is something she really does care about. So we went to a dermatologist. This is my 12th grade year. I'm losing hair. I still have a good amount of fullness in the front. It's the scalp being 17 and
Yeah.
going to the dermatologist to talk about my hair going. They recommended finasteride, of course. They, you know, talked about the minoxidil treatments orally, topically. At the time, I'm 17 years old. Like, do I have to get on finasteride? Do I have to get on minoxidil? I'm 17. Who's to say how fast this is going to progress? It was such a huge just disappointment for me. I could not believe it. You know, I see a lot of people on the channel talking about the hair fibers, how it got on their pillow. I found a product called Color Wow. It colored the scalp, and I'll attach some photos of that as well. It didn't get on my pillow. And that was brilliant and it would work for days. So, like I said, with the medical therapy with finasteride, we were not trying to get on that. You know, as a 17-year-old kid, like it just didn't seem necessary. Like, and then beyond that, throughout the year, the hair just kept going. But by the end of senior year at prom, you will see I still had fullness in the front. It was receded and I was thinning, but people didn't really care that much. It was there, and I was actually okay talking about it. That summer before college, my hair keeps thinning, it keeps receding. At that point, I'm aware of the problem I had, you know, my solutions. You know, the thinning on the crown really was a big deal for me. And so I actually had a hair piece made for me. When I got it, I felt so great and I felt like I had my hair back. I felt like my problem was stripped away. You know, it really did work for a year, but the progression of my hair loss just went berserk. So the front got so much thinner. The recession was just beyond the point where I could even have hair anymore. And I thought it was a great solution, but my hair just kept thinning. And the front specifically, it was just going to a point where if I had the piece on, it was kind of just pathetic anyway, because there was so much thinning in the front. Some big concerns about the hairpiece was that there are situations where like on stage or just intimate situations where, you know, if someone touches my head, my hairpiece would move isolated from my actual hair. And that was something I was very conscious of. I had to wash it, which is not surprising, but it just became a hassle to wear something on my scalp to hide what was happening. I was hiding from who I am. And I was so terrified that people wouldn't accept me, that girls wouldn't find me attractive, that I would never be cast. And I guess my day-to-day life was I wake up and I either take a shower to get my hair ready to put my hairpiece on, or I just wear a hat. And really, college is when the hat phase, the first year of college, the hat phase skyrocketed. I would not go anywhere showing my skin, which is my hair. That's me. I would not go outside as me. I would cover myself. I was hiding myself. I was terrified of people seeing my scalp. And there were situations where we had a class where we'd have to get on mats and we want to really preserve this relationship to the ground and the room and the space. This one day I did not have my hairpiece on. I had a hat and my teacher asked me to take off my hat and I was like freaked out inside. I'm like, "Ugh, can I just keep it on, please?" And he was like, "I'd really prefer you to take it off." And I didn't want to be that kind of person, so I took it off. But it's also scenarios like that where I was just terrified. And over the summer, it really did feel like the sky was falling. And this is my hair's problem is someone else's way worse problem. And I'm so blessed for the life I've been given this thus far, but it was awful. And I was giving myself so much pain and so much stress over just hair. I think at that point I was consulting with hair transplant doctors in the city. I wasn't personally interested in going to Turkey. I was consulting with hair transplant doctors because I'm an actor. I want to act. This is my dream. I go to school to act. And I thought, how can I be a desirable actor if I don't have hair on my head? Who's going to want to cast me? And that was my biggest fear. So I consulted with the hair transplant doctors and I got on finasteride and oral minoxidil, which interestingly enough, this has been the hardest part. I'm actually still on. One of the hardest parts has been maybe completely letting my hair just disappear as quickly as possible. Because now that I've shaved the head, I just feel so confident. I don't know what my future has for me, and I am considering stopping the drugs. And at this point, it kind of feels useless to me because I am rocking the buzz cut with a bald look. Maybe I'll stay on them to open up any possible doors in the future. But I think the main thing was after I was consulting with these doctors, I got mixed answers. I got answers saying, you can never get a hair transplant. Your hair is too fine. I heard that. And I got other ones saying, maybe it's so-so. Come back when you're 25, get on the drugs. At that point, my dad had been pushing me to shave my head off. Man, I thought, are you kidding me? I'm 19. 2 years ago, I was so confident about my hair, and now I'm gonna have to go to every situation bald with no hair on my head. As not a 19-year-old, it sounded unbelievably just awful, and I did not want to do it. And it was just so scary. It felt like the sky was falling. I wanted to scream. I wanted to scream. If I was in the park, I would just want to scream. I want to scream in my pillow. I just like, what can I do? And I think when I was consulting with the hair transplant doctors, and you can see some of my low point photos, that's some of the photos I sent to them. And that's when I'm like, this is me. Hiding it is driving me insane. I'm scared of all the time. I'm scared of social situations. I'm scared of not wearing a hat. I'm scared of going to the ocean at the beach. And this is something I just could not do to myself anymore. And so mentally, I started to open myself up to shaving my head. And I started to think about how it would look. And I looked at pictures, Jason Statham. I looked at pictures of other bald kings. And I realized I've always been confident in my appearance to a certain extent. I trusted that I would have the confidence to do it. And my mom wasn't completely on board because, she's a fashion style expert. She wanted to save the hair as much as possible. She wanted to maybe look into getting a more extensive wig because we just couldn't believe it. And it was so quick and I'm so young. I just came to a point where I was starting to accept how it would look. I thought it'd make me look edgier. And I thought it'd finally be me breaking free from this issue. And I shaved my head. It was right after a hair transplant consultation. I made the decision. I'm right after this consultation, no matter what they say, I'm shaving my head. And so we went to the nearest barber. They shaved my head, and it was weird to see at first, but I looked myself in the mirror, and it just felt different. It felt like a whole all this weight was lifted off my shoulders. It felt like I had a new look. I loved the way I looked. I felt more confident. I felt older in a good way because I always look pretty boyish with hair. And I'm now starting to realize that if I had just done this 2 years ago, there would never have been an issue. This did not have to be the issue. It was. And, I wasn't ready back then
Yeah.
to do, I wasn't ready. And I think, people should wait till they're ready. But I really believe that once we look ourselves in the mirror, the thing that is preventing us from being ourselves, which on this channel is our hair, it's so easy to just get rid of that problem if we can have confidence in ourselves and if we can accept who we are. And I accepted who I am, which is a bald man. I can't put into words the how much it has saved my life, really. This was I wouldn't stop talking about my hair. It was such a at home. I wouldn't stop talking about it. It just became a boring trend. It just didn't need to be a problem anymore. And what I think the most incredible thing is, last year, my freshman year, I auditioned for a lot of the shows in my theater program. There were studio shows run by students, and there were main stages, which is run by like the professionals in the program. Last year, I got through both semesters, I got two callbacks. I auditioned for like 15 shows. I got two callbacks for studio shows, which is run by the students. And I had hair. I had my hairpiece on. People didn't know I had a hairpiece on. People could probably see my hair was thinning, but besides that, not really. And then this year, I come to school with my buzzed head. I feel I look better than ever. I know I look better than ever. And I think that confidence really is the confidence is me. And so far, we've had only main stage auditions, but I auditioned for three main stage. I got a callback in all three. So I
Yeah.
already have more callbacks this year with just main stage auditions than all of last year with tons of studio shows, tons of main stages. I already got more callbacks and I already booked a role in the main stage production, which is a
Wow.
huge deal. And I think if I had just taken care of this problem long ago, I never would have had to hide anything, hide who I am. But I accepted who I was and I love who I am. I love how I look. And people I see on your channel, they always feel so much better after they actually do it because it's not a problem anymore for them.
Yeah.
And it really allows facial features to stick out more and not be distracted by this thinning, receding hairline. It's just something I don't want to fight it anymore. And since shaving my head, I think this is just me. I think this is who I am. And I've only gotten positive reviews. I've not gotten a single negative review when I thought that people would find it so weird or think that I'm like dying or something because I'm a bald 19-year-old. I never wear hats anymore. I don't care about this up here. I just don't care. I don't care because I'm not hiding anything anymore. And people don't point it out. People don't look at me on the street. People, if anything, people think I look better. I'm just really grateful that I made this decision. And I think there's so many people out there who could do that. You can do it. You don't have to hold on to this problem. You don't have to. But one thing now that I know what to look for, I'm actually seeing a lot of my friends are losing hair too. The reason why I wanted to come on here is because there are so many people my age dealing with this problem. And I feel like there's not many voices out there or sources to hear their stories and to let them know that it's going to be okay. And that, yes, you can buzz your head at 19, 18. People buzz their head all the time. You can do it.